Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am Linda Israel, and thank you so very much for coming to my live stream here on YouTube. I greatly appreciate your support and for taking the time to come here and hang out. There are a few things that I want to go over before the actual live started, so this is a recording. First of all, I want to make sure that you like this video and subscribe, so give it a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate that. When you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell up in the corner. That way you'll get a notification whenever I upload a video. I have a broadcast post or even a live stream. If you're watching this video as a replay and you're on a computer, look for the little gear at the bottom. You can change the speed to speed it up. Or if you're on a mobile device, look for the little three dots and usually you can change the playback speed there. My live streams generally last about 2 hours. They can go as long as 3 hours. It kind of depends on what we're working on that day and how the feedback is in the chat. While you're watching, you earn junk bucks. So if you are here, in order to get those junk bucks accumulating, go ahead and type hello in the chat and my little bot, Junkie Joe, will see you and then you'll start accruing junk bucks. And you're wondering, well, what do I do with those junk bucks? Well, you can accumulate those, and once you have 2,000 of them, you can type !award and you can redeem them for a $10 off coupon to my shop. You can earn junk bucks while you're here and when you are chatting, as well as when you play the in-chat game. So look for those as they come up, and if you make a donation. For those of you that make a donation during my live stream, make sure that you go over to my website at lindaisrael.com, and if you haven't already done so, create a user account. When you make a donation during my live stream, basically you're buying a membership to my website and to the live stream. In my opinion, what we're doing is you're accumulating that money in my account. Thank you for that donation. And as a reward, you will get 5% off your orders at lindaisrael.com. And during the live stream, if I have a journal that I'm giving away at the very end, you are eligible to win that journal. Anybody that makes a donation gets into that drawing by manually typing in the raffle at the end, but then you also get the discount membership on my website. Thank you to Robin, who is my administrator during the live stream. She helps me out with answering questions as well as giving information. She is also my administrator over at the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group. If you haven't joined that group, please do. We'd love to have you over there. You're welcome to share what you're working on. Speaking of sharing, during the live today, you can speak up in the chat and say, hey, I have a YouTube channel. You will not be able to share your link to your channel, but you can at least say, hey, my name is, and this is what I do. And then your friends that come into the chat can follow each other. Let's keep the chat upbeat, friendly, and helpful. If you will be kind to those that are here. If you have a question, put it in all caps and I'll do my best to answer those. The chat sometimes goes pretty fast, so I don't always see it, so do ask again. And at the same time, if you're in the chat and you know the answer to somebody's question, please speak up and give them the answer. Check the description box for links to products that I share today. Yes, I am an Amazon affiliate, which means I do get a commission on items that you purchase through my link. If you're going to buy something anyway, I greatly appreciate it. It does not cost you any extra. It just gives me a little bit of a commission, which helps me buy products to show you here. If you win one of the raffles, you can start right now by typing !raffle. Do make sure that you go over to my website, and if you haven't already created a user account, that way I will have your contact information so I can send you your prize. I am starting a raffle right now that is for 200 junk bucks, so you can get well on your way to accumulating your junk bucks. Let's have some fun today and let's get started. Thanks everybody for being here. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Julie, Lorraine, Call Me Glitter, the Mrs. Edmondson. So glad to have you here today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, well, thank you for inviting your mama. I hope she enjoys my stream as well. All right, so we're going to finish the Fairy Frolic Tall Journal. And I thought I would start off with sharing a little bit about what I did off camera. I better get the bottle so you know. I took some tulip glitter, and it is dimensional fabric paint, but I have found that I like using it on my journal pages. So I took a little bit of that, and it may be difficult for you to see this, but I outlined around the bird, added a little bit to the fairy's wings, some on the butterflies. I didn't do anything on the inside, but I did go ahead on all of the printed pages from Calico Collage. I added a little bit of sparkle on there. I'll kind of show you those just a little bit. You have to let it dry for a little while, and they can stick together. I'm hoping now they won't, since I've let them dry for a while. I did this one as well. So then the last week when we... Hey, Marty, welcome. Hey, Naomi, hello. Well, don't work too hard today if we don't get to say bye to you and tell Elijah hello. So last week we were working on this page, which had pockets on the front and pockets on the back. And then on the inside, I took a piece of cardstock and made it look like a file folder tab and stenciled on it and made a pocket here. This is the same thing. I just decorated it with some scrapbook paper that I had in my stash. And so now we need to make the card that goes in here. And this is what it looks like when it's finished. So we'll kind of get started. So right off the bat, I have gone ahead and distressed the edges. I'm looking at this to see. Yes, okay, so I distressed the edges. I'm going to get a scrap of paper, and I am going to stamp down the side. And then I'll flip it over and do it on the other side. I'm going to use Archival Ink Jet Black. And I've got the Henna Rose stamp. It's just a stamp that I have in my shop. I'm going to turn this a little bit so I can have a better look. I think I need to go... I want it to be visible behind this other piece of paper. So I'm going to stamp it down the side. Okay, do a little bit right here, and then I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to do it along the same edge, just on the reverse side. Just remember when you're stamping that you just want to press straight down and not rock your stamp so you don't end up with a double image. So there, that has been stamped. The next thing I want to do is take this piece, and I have the sketched wildflowers, and I'm going to stamp it right here, kind of going off the page a little bit. And I also stamped it on this piece, which was some coffee dyed paper I made a while back. How is everybody? Are y'all doing good? Did you have a great week? Hey, Bonnie, welcome. Yes, lots of wonderful people here. So glad to have y'all. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that here. All right, put this aside for a moment. All right, let's put that up there. All right, so I have a piece of scrapbook paper that I cut up for this project so that you all understand the sizing of everything. My journal pages, when folded, are 4¼ inches wide by 11 inches tall. So basically 8½ sheet and by 11 sheet of paper folded in half, but hot dog or lengthwise instead of hamburger, which is the normal way we do it. And then I cut a piece of cardstock to be 4 inches by 9 inches, so that'll fit into the pocket. I've got a scrap piece of scrapbook paper, and I'm going to fold that in half lengthwise, or some people call it hot dog style. Trying to get that lined up with the edge as best I can. I did go around the edges with some distress ink. Hey, Teresa, hello, welcome. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add some distress inks to this edge because it's a folded edge. Okay. All right, got that one done. All right, so now what I want to do is this piece needs to go over the edge of my card. So I want to put it here. So I'm going to glue this and wrap it around on my cardstock here. This is a great way to use up some of that scrapbook paper you have that you've been hoarding for years. I know you have. Don't lie. I've been trying to use it as much as I can. Ah, he wakes up in 10 minutes. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I am so glad that he is able to watch. That's wonderful. Will I be doing any crafts classes this year? You know, I haven't sat down and decided. I would probably do it on a Saturday. Are you near enough that you can travel to see me? Gotcha. You're looking at your hoard right now. All right, so on this side, I'm going to put the coffee dyed paper. I want to be able to see a little bit of the border and of course this pretty paper. Yeah, my room is full from top to bottom, and I'm trying to use it as much as possible. I keep finding things. I'm like, ooh, I haven't seen that in a while. So I'm like, well, let's see how we can use it. Ah, gotcha. Well, of course, you've watched me since he was born, so he kind of probably knows my voice, right? If I were to come visit him in person, he'd be like, I know her. I don't like to leave my house. I'm in, though. Well, you're in Illinois. That's not too far. My mother's family was from Illinois. Illinois. It's not noise. It's Illinois. All right, so on this side, we're going to put the purple piece. Your room is full too. I was very fortunate to get to visit with Robin, who's working. She may stop in later. And Jennifer, we visited for lunch, and then Jennifer and I were talking about plants, and she came by the house and we walked around my yard. I've already done some changes since you were here, Jennifer. I'll have to send you some pictures. Okay, like that. All right, so now we've got this piece. I've got a butterfly here, and I want to cut it in half. So I'm going to use the edge of the paper. So probably right about there. And cut that in half. There. So I've got one piece and another piece. So this piece I want to put right here on the edge. Yeah, I tell you, yeah, you have to tell me everything about all the things that he's been doing and his favorite toy and favorite animal. Ah, that's awesome. Oh, Julie says yesterday she used up some of her scrap papers and collaged them on copy paper and cut up to use for a later date. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you did. It's a great way to use those up for sure. You got everything planted except for the irises. You need to move some tiger lilies. Awesome, awesome. My next door neighbor was out working in her yard, and I walked over there and talked to her for a few minutes, and I let her borrow a tool to be able to remove some weeds a little more easily. And I told her once she got those removed to let me know if I didn't come over there automatically, and I would bring over some plants that I can dig up from my yard and give to her. Some of those plants I got from the front yard that I told you has a purple bloom on it. Okay, so we got that far. And now I need the I Believe in Magic stamps. I've got that. Let's stamp that on here. Whoop. Well, thankfully it landed right side up. Okay, and then right here. There we go. Now we need to place some berries. So I just grabbed a couple from Norella's kit, and I'll put one down here. He'll show me his monster truck. He has hundreds. Oh, wow. Works into Zoom because Mom won't let him have a capybara at home. Oh, funny. Capybara. Oh, your neighbor's excited about the passion vine? Well, good, because I gave you a couple of those, didn't I? So hopefully that'll take off real soon. Henry weed-eated a bunch of them the other day, but we were able to salvage some to give to Jennifer. I think when we were on that side of the property where the passion vine was, I talked to my neighbor, and she has some big purple irises there that need to be thinned out, and I have some more irises in my side in some pots that I need to put in the ground, and she agreed that she was okay with me helping her divide all those irises, and we're going to fill in that whole area so we don't have to mow the grass over there. Jennifer, that call me glitter, that's Jennifer. Oh, you fell out, Marty. Don't be falling out. You have too much paper scraps and you need to do something with them. Yeah, I understand. You got to use them up. Okay, I got that done. Put this back over here. All right, so now we've got 2 journal cards made. I don't think there's anything else that I put on those. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that into the pocket here. I was checking this out. Okay, there we go. So you can kind of see it sticking out there. And we'll do the same here. Apparently I'm not able to function here. There we go. Come on, get in there. So you'll see a little bit of it here on the edge. Does that look pretty cool? You keep very few scraps. Yeah, I was talking to somebody else online, and they throw all of their scraps away. They don't even bother keeping them. I'm like, no! Because I kept some scraps, I was able to come up with some more ideas to use them today. All right, so I have already worked on one, so I'm going to start this one. I took one of those undesirable or ugly papers. So this was some paper pad that I had that was 2 Tim Holtz that when I bought it, it was on clearance and it was such a good deal. And I thought, well, I might use it because it's Tim Holtz stuff. And then when I got it home, I didn't like the color color pattern colors that were used in this, and I decided to just stick it aside. And then we were talking online about what do you do with those papers that you just don't really like, they're undesirable. Well, I painted it. So I went ahead and I cut this down to be 11.5 inches tall by 9 inches wide. I added to the back of it, my mother-in-law gave me a whole stack of these photo album pages that she had to put in a photo album. They kind of remind me of the feel of construction paper. That's what it felt like. So I wanted to make this a little bit thicker, but not make it a hardcover. And I went ahead and just glued it to the back side. The next thing I want to do is I think I want to add some fabric down the side. So I went ahead and I tore 1-inch strips of fabric. Okay. Yeah, don't forget about master boards. Master boards are easy to cut up. You don't like master boards, Bonnie? How come? What is it about a master board that you hate them, you say? You like it? Master boards. Yeah, coffee dye your ugly paper and it is still ugly. Well, paint over the top of it, you know. I have in the description box below, there's a link to this tutorial that I did. Making master boards just relaxes you because you don't really have to think about it too much. If you're like me, you just grab a bunch of colors that you enjoy of scraps and then just start slapping them down and add some mixed media, stamp on it, stencil over it, add some paint. I painted that blue during the live stream. You don't like collaging. Gotcha. I painted it with ivory acrylic paint first. Then I think I sprayed that with Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. Then I stamped it using Distress Oxide and a rubber stamp. Then I stamped it with black archival ink and then watercolored in all of the leaves and berries. It's a leaf and berry stamp that I have. Yes, it's a lot of steps, but it's a fun way to kind of play with your mixed media supplies. So, Bonnie, you say you don't like collaging, but this is a great way to use up those undesirable papers. You're welcome. Okay. I used to make a lot of master boards. I sold artwork where I would take my scraps and make a master board, and then I would cut it into strips. There it is. And then I would make an 8x10 or 4x6 base that I would stamp or print a verse or saying or quote, and then I would add my strip of collaged masterboard piece on top of that. I don't know if I have one still here. Let's see something. Is that what this is? No, that's just painted paper. Nope, not in there. I must have moved it. I thought I had some in here. I may have one in the other room. I'll have to go look to see. It was a great way for me to use up my scraps. I would buy little frames and frame them, and then I sold the little pieces of artwork. All right, so I just hand gathered that all down the edge. I'm going to trim that off. There we go. All right, so I want to put a tie on the inside, so I'm going to center this in one. Let's see. Do I got that in the center? No, I don't. There we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right here would be the center. All right, what'd you do with my pen? It was laying here. Well, that's not it. Seriously, I just had it. Did it roll off the table? That's what happens to me. All right, so let me see if I... Oh, that's what happened. I put it in the wrong spot. All right, so right about here and right about there is the center. I'm going to put ties on here. I've got a piece of this purple. Let's see if I've got anything else. I think this purple will work. It doesn't need to be the whole length. So I've got one that I made earlier, so I'm just going to use it as a guide. And go here to there. And cut this piece. All right, so now what I'm going to do is take this piece and apply some glue here and press that down into the glue. Then I'm going to flip this around, put some glue right here, and then press this into place. All right, so we'll set that aside for a moment because I need the glue to dry. And in a moment, we're going to go to the sewing machine. So here's our sewing lamb. Now, I have a piece of scrapbook paper that's going to go inside the cover. And I've already stitched around the inside because I like the way that looks. So if you like that look, great. If you don't have to do that step. If you have a rubber stamp that looks like stitching, you could use that, or you could hand draw that, or even hand stitch it. Oh, you like my nails? I forgot to show them at the beginning. Yeah, they're press-on. I make them myself. I paint the blank nails, and then I have a storage thing that I put them in, and when I'm ready to use them, I have glue tabs that I put on my fingers, and then I just press the nails into the glue, and then they're strong. They don't come off until I'm ready. And I soak my hands in hot water, and they'll loosen up, and then I can peel them off, and then I can clean the glue off of the nail. As long as I didn't break one or lose one, I can reuse them. Okay. So one of the pieces that I made was a wraparound piece that's a flip out. So the idea is that it would go here and then flip out. So what I need to do now is put some glue on this tab. I want to add it to what's going to be the inside cover of my journal. And basically I'm doing this in this order because I am waiting for the glue to dry where I added the fabric. All right, so I want to put it down far enough that when I close this, the tag doesn't stick out the top. And just press that into place. Junkie Joe didn't like you, Marty. Maybe next time. That's funny. Okay, so I got that piece ready. I have made a little pocket. I thought this was kind of cute. I used one of the little fairies, and then I have this punch from EK Success that I've had for years. It's a label. And I punched it out of a piece of scrap that I had left over. And then I put the little fairy on top. So I want to put it over here on this side as a little pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and add some glue. I put a piece of a book page on the back side of the scrapbook paper and make little tabs so that I can use the full width of the pocket because I have a tag that's going to fit in there. All right, so I'm going to bend my inside up just a little bit so I can see, do I have that somewhat in the center so it doesn't interfere with the binding. Okay, so this will go in here. Okay, so this is ready to be pasted into the center of our journal. So what I'm going to do is go over to the sewing machine. I think this is dry enough. And I'm going to stitch all the way around, which will help secure the lace. It'll also, or lace, fabric ruffle. It'll also help secure the fabric tie as well. He's a computer program, y'all. Oh, I just realized I didn't check my camera. Well, I guess it's almost there. We'll move it a little bit. Come on. Oh, okay, that'll work. Okay. So I'm going to start up here. That'll give me just a little bit more time for the glue to dry. And it's important when you're stitching that you use a clean needle, clean thread, new thread, and don't sew through wet glue. I have black thread in the upper and the bottom, and I'm going to use a zigzag stitch. I just use the edge of the paper as a guide where I want to sew. If you want to practice sewing, a good idea is to get some ruled notebook paper or some index cards and then stitch along the line and get some practice on how to use your sewing machine. All right, so now I'm going to down the side, making sure that my tie is up out of the way. You're in love with that paper? It was so simple, Julie. Thank you very much. All right, we're coming down the edge. And I didn't say this a moment ago, but I leave my needle down and then I rotate it if I plan to stitch all the way around something. You can go ahead and cut the thread, and if you like that look where the cut thread is sitting, sticking out of the edge, that's fine. You're welcome to do that too. I have a friend, Phoebe, who's a quilter, and she's an awesome quilter, but she cannot stand loose threads. She says, trim those threads. And I like the look of them, so I leave them. Now, if I was making a quilt, I wouldn't, because that's just not right. You have to do it. You have to trim them on a quilt. But on paper, I'm okay with leaving them on, leaving them sticking out. All right, well, that went all the way around. Yay! If you're having problem with sewing paper, it could be that you need to change the pressure foot tension. It depends on your machine. You might look at, what is it doing? Is it making loops? Is it bogging down? is it the bobbin thread or the upper thread, and look at your sewing machine for troubleshooting of what to do if your thread is doing that. Your needle acts like it's too hard to do. You may need to change the needle. I use, where are they? Are they in here? I'm trying to remember where I put my extras. Is that them? No. Ah, here they are. For my machine, I use Oregon needles, and these are the, well, it doesn't say what number they are. Let me open the box. They are a 80-12. That's what I use on my sewing machine. So it could be that you need to change your needle. And don't take this the wrong way, but if you have a really cheap machine that you may have purchased for under $100, most of those are plastic and they do not like to work very hard. Yeah, if you're using one for denim, that's heavy. If your needle is too thick for the paper, it will just punch holes and then the thread can't catch. All right, so now I'm going to take this piece and we're going to glue it to the inside of our journal cover. So I'm trying to get it turned over here. So glue this down the side and around. Okay, well that's not bad. So yeah, look at what kind of needles do you have, and if you can get an 80, what was that, an 80-12, is that what I said? For your machine, try that. It's possible that you just need to change the size of the needle and then practice on some paper. And it could be that you need to change some tension, or, yeah, I guess it would be tension. Tension in the bobbin or tension in the upper, to see if you can't get it to work better. All right, so I'm just trying to line this up all the way around and press that. Let's see that. Yeah, there's not any sticking out the top of the bottom. And I'm going to press it some more. So now, because I stitched on this piece before I glued it down, it has a nice stitched look to it. And it looks like I stitched it all at one time, but I didn't. Ah, gotcha. Well, and you just may need to practice. Yeah, Julie uses a stamp to stitch her stuff. Okay, so then in this pocket, I have this really tall journal card from Calico Collage, and I thought that would be pretty there. Now we want to work on the cover artwork. So I've got this one, and I did this one. I changed up the fabric that I used because I thought that made it kind of pretty to be able to do that. All right, so then I found some scraps of scrapbook paper. So I thought maybe if I put something like this up here at the top, and then I found a scrap of denim, and I thought maybe she could go right there on top of it. So I know, Bonnie, it's a collage. Let me grab another little fairy. So maybe like that. So my thinking was I would stitch the denim to this pink piece of paper and then put the fairy on top. What else do you think we need to put on there? And as I'm saying that, I think I want to look for, I see the red. Let me see if I have a glitter tool, and we may use a piece of that if I can reach it. It's way up there. If you hear a crash, Jennifer, call 911 and send them to my house. All right, I got my step stool. Oh, good. I do have some. Yay! I have my own step stool that stays in my craft room so I can get up to the top shelves. Okay. So, I have, oh, and this is brand new. I haven't even opened it yet. I have this clear tool. So what if we were to put a piece of that over? Do we like that? I think that would be pretty. What do you think? Yes? No? Maybe? All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut a piece of it. Yeah, I'm going to cut a piece of it. Just a little bit larger than my piece of paper. Maybe? So I need, let me get my fabric scissors. Because I want it just a little bit past. What do you think of that? I think that would be kind of cute. You like it? Okay, good, good, good. Yes, yes, do it. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to layer it over this piece, making it a little bit larger than my scrapbook paper. All right, so now we've got that piece. Let's put this away. I don't need it anymore. I got this after Christmas. This is Christmas tulle, and the place that I got it from had it on clearance after Christmas. So I bought some in different colors, and it comes in handy for projects like this. All right, I'm going to put it back. So listen for a crash if I don't respond. Okay. I made it. No crashing. Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, let's go back to the sewing lab and do the stitching again. I think I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on here in the middle to help hold this in the center. And then I'll put this over the top of it. And I'll just stitch in the center on that denim. I'm going to do it again here. Okay. And then we'll put this right here. Trying to get it centered. All right, let's stitch it. They're hard to store. Yeah. Probably if it's a sheet, can you put it in an envelope maybe? Flirting works. You won, Marty. All right. This is where the sewing lamb sleeps. He's in the drawer. So I keep him in there. All right, let's stitch this down. think this fabric was or tool, what do you want to call this? This glitter tool was a good choice. I know I have more. I just remembered that I saw that box up there. I need to put everything in one place. I'm still adding labels to my boxes and drawers and whatnot in the room. What I would love to do one day is get ambitious enough to make an index that would say, put numbers on my drawers and say, drawer number 1 has this in it. And then I could have it like a Google spreadsheet that I can search and know where stuff is. What do you think of that idea? I don't know. I've been toying with it. I have labels that I've been putting on things, but I'm also thinking about, like I said, an index with corresponding numbers that are placed on each drawer or box, or sometimes I even have little binders and bins. And then my spreadsheet, it would say drawer 1 located in mail sorting cabinet. That's what this is behind me, is my mail sorting cabinet that I've turned into storage by converting boxes into drawers. You like that? Yay! Big meter. It's a really big meter square. So is it more paper like foil? Another way to store it is to roll it up. I have some foil somewhere that I stuck I'm looking up because I thought I put it up high, but I don't see it at the moment. Roll it up, and then if you can find a architecture blueprint tube, or find a tube shaped like wrapping paper, you can roll it up and put it inside the tube to protect it. All right, so this would go here and here. And then I had these 2 fairies. I think that's going to be super cute. All right, so lay these out here. All right, let's glue the little fairies down. Strategy to take down the glitter boss. Either you do or you don't, Marty. I am using beacon glue because I'm going to glue on top of that tulle, and the tulle is kind of a plasticky material. I am going to lay a block on here for a moment. Are you waiting for me to sew on my nails? I have only ever hit my finger once in my lifetime, and it hurt. So I learned a long time ago, don't stick your fingers under there. Okay, so now I'm going to put that here. I have these pieces that are left over. I'm thinking maybe I should add, I don't know. I'm toying with the idea. Let me look at my words. I believe I could put a piece of fabric behind that, I guess. What do you think? Something like that? I do have the word journal stamped. I have it in white, and then I have it in craft. So let's look at these to see which is better. Okay, which do you like better, the white or the craft? And I'm going to look at my fabric pieces here, see what I have that could work. I'm digging. piece of black. Is that too dark? But what if we put that in black? I'm going to cut a piece. All right, let's see how this looks. Come on now. I have to concentrate. Somebody couldn't make orange juice because they didn't know how to concentrate. White? Call Me Glitter says white. You stapled your finger? Oh my goodness. Oh no. So how does that look? I'm going to flip it over because it's curling. Something like that. I don't know if this one's big enough. No, I need another one. I'll cut another one. Oh dear. All right, let's see how this looks. All right, so Call Me Glitter said white. Anybody else have to speak up about using the brown or the white? I think now, and then do you like the black behind the believe? Should I also put some fabric behind the word journal? I might have just enough of the black. I'm going to finger press it so I can fold it in half lengthwise. I'll trim it to fit, but what if we did that? Let me get the picture all the way up there. So I like the brown, and Call Me Glitter likes the white. How about if we'll just do brown on one and white on the other. No black, okay. On any of it, no black? Okay, I already cut them. Well, let's see what else I got here. No black. Okay, how about dark purple? Sits on Jennifer. Oh my goodness. The black looks bold. How about that? Is that better? It's softer because it's a floral. It's okay. I'm just creating scraps for the little scrap bin. Okay. Sometimes I go bold. All right, I'm cutting this fabric piece. Yeah, I haven't sent her a message. She's probably, last time I sent her a message, she said she had been falling asleep. If you are friends with her, send her a message. Okay. No black. Let's see what I've got in my bigger scraps that I keep nearby. See if there's something in there that we might use. I see a piece of denim scrap. So what if I were to use the denim? Is that a better choice? Yeah, but everybody's busy, it seems, right? Okay, I think I'm going to glue this together. Where is it? I just saw it. I think the denim would work. Yeah, if she has visitors or her internet's down, there's all kinds of reasons. I just glued the fabric on the back of the word believe. All right, so now I'm going to glue this down. Yes, to the denim. Okay, thank you. All right, so now I'm going to glue this in the corner here. Smoosh it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down, and then we'll cut the denim to the size I want it to be. Should we stitch around it like we did with the tulle? All right, I'm going to put this close to the top. Or should I put the word journal above? No, I want the picture at the top. All right, I'm going to put my block on that for a moment. And then let's glue this one. Aw, thank you, Bonnie. That's so sweet. I still have lots of my subscription boxes, different ones left. So if you never got one of those, I still have them, a few in my shop. And all of them I have digital. So if you would rather have digitals as opposed to physical kits, in the physical kits you get the Tattered Angels, you get one of my stencils, and then you get lots of goodies to use on your journal. Yeah, I do have a wish list function. So you can create a wish list. Now, if you've never created a user account, right now I have that disabled unless you make a purchase. If you want to set up an account before you make a purchase, just send me a message with your email address and I will create a user account for you. Just tell me what username you want to use. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to glue this one down. My subscription kits, which are no longer a subscription, but they are creative kits, and they have a printed journal kit that is designed by Calico Collage. I put input. I give her information about what I want it to be, and then she created the digital portion, and then I add some paper and ribbons and yarns and lace sometimes. It's all different. Denim pieces like this one, fabric pieces. There is a stencil or more than one that I have designed. Okay, I need to go check on my dog Oreo. Hang on a second. Oh, you're making the wild and free and adding horses to it? Awesome. That's great. Yeah, he's barking. Let me go check on him. What's the matter, buddy? You keep barking the bark? Huh? You keep barking the bark? Come here. Come here. Hi. Go outside. Okay, I had to take Oreo outside. He was, I think he was stuck on the footstool and couldn't figure out how to get down. He gets older and older, it's harder for him. All right, let's put these away. You pet them, pet the journals. All right, I'm going to trim this. I was leaving the frayed part. I thought that looked kind of cool. All right, let's get that out of the way. All right, let's put away some of my scraps. All right, so should we stitch around the word journal? I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. See, yeah, that was something that Jennifer was saying. She just said when she sees one of my journals in person, it's hard to believe it's the same thing she saw online. And she was noticing in a journal that I brought over the other day for lunch that she's like, I never saw that online. Sometimes you can't see some of the details because of the camera doesn't always pick it up. All right, let's glue this one down. Yes, stitch it. Okay. Thank you, Naomi. All right, we're going to stitch it. We're going to go the sewing lamb. Get them out. There's the sewing lamb. All right. So now I will go over to the sewing machine and stitch them down. Yep, Junkie Joe didn't get you that time. All right, let's stitch it. All right, computer, why didn't you switch? There we go. Maybe I need a drink. Maybe that's what's going on. My camera was really low. So I'm just going to stitch around that outside edge. I use all kinds of scraps of paper whenever I cut off something to make it fit inside a pocket or make a pocket to fit what I need. If there's a strip big enough, I'll save it and stamp words on them, like journal and the believe, etc. With the digitals, whenever I cut those apart, sometimes there's little strips that I'll have. I think that turned out pretty good. Sewing lamb cam. All right, we'll stitch it. Come around. I think we're going to have to put some bling on here. And there it is with the white. Oh, old jeans, yeah. I think this was from a remnant bolt of fabric, but I have also used jeans. One of my friends, her husband, she got mad at him. Said, you need to get rid of those jeans. They have holes in the crotch. So she asked me if I wanted them. I said, sure, I'll take them. So I've used those to cut up and turn into journal projects, covers, etc. So surely you have, or your husband has, a pair of jeans that you never got rid of that you can cut up. If not, head over to the thrift store or ask somebody. You have a size 3 jeans you're saving to fit back in. Okay, Bonnie, I don't want to poo-poo your ambition to do so, it's a possibility that the only way you're going to fit in that is when you're bones. Because that's what would be with me. Size 3. I don't think I was ever technically a size 3 unless it was when I was 10. I've always had hips. So I think the smallest I was a size 7 when I was in high school. And it was hard because they would fit me in the derriere, but they'd be too big in the waist, and I'd have to have them taken up. Wear stretchy, comfy jeans. Yep. I found some on Amazon. I like them. Okay, I like that. I saw the bling laying here. I need to put I've got pieces of fabric laying here that I need to put away so that they're not popping up here. There we go. You go here. Okay. Put that over here. All right, getting my scissors. This was some rhinestones that I got a long time ago, and they're in strips. So I'm just cutting the connecting glue, and then I'll use my scissors to help me grab one. Let's put one up here. And let's put one here. And maybe one right there. Oh, I gotta turn it over. How's that? I think that looks pretty good. Let's do that again. You wore a size 3 forever, so you were just a little bitty petite thing. Aww. Having you both lost 65. That's awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, now you got jeans. Aw, that's awesome. We didn't have a whole lot of money. I made my prom dress, and I made some of my clothing, and most of that was because I couldn't find clothes that fit my bottom. Okay. And let's put this one right here. Okay, that's the cover. So now, the front cover, I should have done this differently, but it's too late now. The front cover, oh, my dragonfly charm broke. It was hanging off of here. I wonder if I have another one. Let's see what we got. I don't see one there. I have a butterfly. We'll use a butterfly. All right, we'll put this back in here. My brother has a 3D printer, and he printed little bins for me that I could use in my drawers. I might undo the bulb pin and add this butterfly in. If I can see. Apparently I can't see where it threads on. There we go. Got it! Made clothes back then, yeah. Okay, let's put that there. So, I have another pocket that I made a while ago. And I don't know if I want to put it here. It's going to add a little bit more bulk, but I thought it would just look pretty to have these on the inside cover. What do you think? Is that something we should do? I'm going to set these aside and y'all can say, yes, add the pocket. Or no, don't add the pocket. While I get the pages ready. This one broke too. Well, it's a good thing I got an extra out. I think it's because when I flattened it, it got in a bind and it broke the shank off. Okay. Yeah, it is disappointing when you get something and it breaks. Okay. Here are our two covers, so I'm going to set these aside for a moment. And let's go ahead and bind the journal, and then we'll flip back through it, and if there's stuff we should add, we'll add some more stuff. So I'm going to lay these all out. And I'm alternating these. I think I may want this to be the first one. And then I've got these. And I think I want this to be the center of the journal. So here's what I'm going to do. I've got every other one is a dyed paper, coffee dyed paper. So now I'm going to put this in here. And then this one. And then this one. I'm just stacking them. Like that. So now I'm going to take this and grab one of the covers. I'm going to grab this one and lay this in the center and use my clips to hold it in place. Set that aside for a moment. And let's do this one. Oh, I didn't open it. Come on, open up for me. There we go. Yes, add the pockets to the covers. All right. If you don't see my hands moving, hit refresh. So somebody say if it doesn't look like I'm moving around, hit refresh. All right, let's get this cover. And we will put that in the center. This is going to be a fluffy journal. All right, so now I'm going to do a pamphlet stitch. I don't think I have a template made for a tall skinny, so we may have to make one, or I have a normal 8.5 tall one. Maybe we'll use that. Get my thread out. Apparently I've got a mess going on. Look at this. I got paper clips hung together. I think that one's too short. Here's a needle. Yeah, I don't have one, so let's see if I've got a scrap of paper that I can use. I don't know if this will fold, but we'll try it. That's too narrow. Too narrow. Oh, let's get this one. Of some of that scrapbook album page. Cut it to be 11 inches. So you can see how I create a template. So I'm going to fold it in half. And I'll fold down an inch or so. And then I'll unfold it. And then I'll fold it lengthwise. Okay, so now I'm going to use a pen and mark the center where I want to poke holes in my journal. I've got a piece of fun foam. You could use an old mouse pad, a phone book, an old book. All right, so now I'm going to line this up in the center of my book. All right, so I'm going to fold that up in a V. I think I got that under. I did. I don't know why I did that. Come on, quit that. All right, poke that all the way through. Poke it all the way through. Okay. Set that aside. Close this. 1, 2, and 3. I'll cut it. Come on. All right, let's do a pamphlet stitch. You like it? All right, so we're going to go through the middle. And don't catch things that you don't want. Leave a little bit of a tail here. And then I'm going to go through here. All right. And then go back through the center. All right. Come up through there. And then we're going to slip it under this first stitch. All right, we're going to take out any slack. I don't have anything caught in here. So I'm going to tie this up. I'll tie a knot. And tie it again. There. That looks good. Let me look at it and see if I need to fix anything. We got to put in the pocket in there. So we'll do that in a moment. Let's go ahead and bind the other one. All right. I'm going to line this up. and poke the holes. Okay. There. And I'll save this little template. I may use it again. I have several that I've saved, and I just stick them in my little bin here at Junk Journal Tools. My husband has an embroidery business, so he embroidered those for me. 1, 2, and 3. Cut the thread. I don't need this. Need my needle. Put this away. All right. Do it again. Through the center. Oh, pages are popping. Okay. Go to the bottom. There we go. Slip under the first. Put the needle away. All right, so let's check to make sure that I don't have any loops or it bound in the wrong way, and then we'll do a couple of knots. Okay. And then remove the clips. Okay. So, Jennifer says, I got a glitter in here. Jennifer says to put the pocket in. So I'm going to flip this over and open it out, and then we're going to glue this little pocket down right inside here. So I need this glue. Aw, thank you, Lorraine. You know, it's just practice. If you are wondering how I do it, it's practice. When you play with these materials enough, the ideas flow. It makes it easier to put things together. Okay. I'm going to lay that in here. And then see, this is a little journal card I made out of some tea dyed or coffee dyed paper. Oh, don't slide around on me. Here's another one, just out of some scraps. And then these are going to go in the pocket, but for now, I'm just going to lay it right here and close that over. I think I have enough rhinestones that we could go through this. Now, do I want to paper clip? No, I think we'll put the paper clip over here. We may find someplace else to put it. Let's put it on here. And I just saw that I have this little image. Okay, so let's add some rhinestones. So I'm going to get the rhinestones out and make sure that I cut in between. Okay. So maybe, let's put one right here. And maybe one down here on the bottom. Oop, I dropped one. Yeah. So there's just a little bit of bling there. And then we'll flip this over. I don't know if it needs anything on this page. We could add maybe a... Oh, do I have something? A little blank piece of paper. I do have a strip of this. I could cut it and then round the corners and make it look like a label. Aw, thank you, Bonnie. That's so sweet. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Y'all are so kind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so I think right about there. Let's see how long that is. Let's do 2 1/4 inches. If I were to put that right there, it may be too dark. I'm going to go ahead and round the corners though. And then we'll add some distress inks to it. I just saw this piece of music, but I think it would overlap if I cut it small. I'm going to cut it and see what it looks like. Something like that. Just trying to use up the scraps I saw on my desk. All right, let's add some distress inks to that. Maybe we should get out a rubber stamp and stamp on there. Go ahead and do all of these. I did find some more, all right, now I have a piece of bling on me. Little images that I had set aside for this kit. So I went back through and I just glued them down in a couple of places. Just adding some distress inks. Okay. Distressing. I haven't decided what we're going to do next week. I don't know if I want to make some clusters using some more scraps, put journals together out of all the journal pages I made. I'll lay this here for a second. I'm thinking. I think a little stamp would be cute in the corner. You came back. No, won't be in here. I think I want this one. It's called Tiny Heart Flower, and I think it'd be cute stamped like that. I need a little stamp block. Got a little one. There we go. Let's use some archival ink. Oh, I think that's cute. There we go. All right, let's glue this together and put it on. I thank you all for being here and for hanging out with me. I appreciate you taking the time. I know everybody's lives are busy, so thank you, thank you, thank you for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it. I'm kind of thinking of making this a little pocket because I know I have another little journal card. This will be a tiny one, and I can put it right there. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to be very careful to put some glue right on the edge. Oh, the foil technique? Yes, if I have all the supplies. I'll have to look in my drawer. I saw some the other day. Is that it? That's Deco Foil Transfer Gel. Okay, so this one you have to put it on and let it dry for an hour, and then you could put your foil over the top of it. And I'm trying to remember if this is I got it on sale. It was marked down. Yes, this says the same thing. And then I have regular gel. So I may try a couple of samples and see what I can do. Ah, you're sore from yesterday? I get you. So yeah, we can try that next week. That sounds like a plan. All right, so we got that. So I'm going to put this right in here. I'll go ahead and glue this one together. And then that way it's ready when we open the other journal. I guess I could get the other journal and put them side by side and do these at the same time. Oh, there it is. I was like, where did it go? I'll slide that over. Open this up. Oh, and I made some other journal cards that we need to find a place for. So good. I'm glad I saw those. All right, let's glue this down. Okay. Put that right inside here. And then I'm going to lay these in here for now until I'm ready to put them in the pocket. Oh yeah, we were going to use that on a different page, which was here. And we're going to put her like this. And then we have this pocket that we're going to put down here. Oh, thank you so much, Lorraine. Thank you. I just trying to, I don't know, enjoy what I'm doing and hopefully inspire y'all to use some of the things you have. It's out of the shot, sorry. Okay. That's going to go right there. I forgot to put the rhinestones, so let's grab the rhinestones. All right, I got one stuck to my finger. Come on now. All right, let's put it right here in the middle. Okay. Okay. I'm concentrating, y'all. It takes concentration to pick up rhinestones. Adding the bling. Adding the bling. Bling, bling, bling. Oh, right here. Okay, cool. All right. So, we have that page. And then we have that page. So, I'm looking over here. Put something heavy on here. That one was not very heavy, apparently. I need a heavier one. Do I not have another? Oh, I got an acrylic block. That'll help. Okay. So, I have glitter that I've put on here. I didn't put anything on the opposite side of the paper clip. How do y'all like to put your paper clips in? When you put them in, do you design them to where you put something on both sides, or do you leave one side empty? I think I'm going to go ahead and put some rhinestones on this page. I'm going to put it here. There we go. There we go. Uh-oh, where'd it go? There it is. Okay, let's put one way up here. There. I didn't put anything on top of this pocket. I just saw something. I hope it's not trapped forever. I can get it out. There it is. There we go. I didn't put anything on here. Do you feel like we need something on there? I do have this journal card I made. It does cover up the printed one. I don't know if I have another pocket that would fit in. I'm looking real fast. I could put it here, I think. Maybe that would be better to put it back here, because then you have the layers. All right, so let's go back over here to there. And we'll put this one in. Okay. So, that was here. Yeah. Okay. I got those. I like glitter. I use it. All right. And then this one will flip over. And I put glitter on those pieces. And we put it so that the head is not suffocating the bird. And I believe, yes, this is a tuck spot. Let's see if I have. I guess we could put a little card or a tag, in this case, there. Should we put some fabric through the top of it? And I see another butterfly. So what if we put fabric on it and then use the butterfly in the middle? Do you like that idea? I've got a piece. How about this pink floral? Let me see what I have here. I got a little piece of that. Since this was blue, teal, turquoisey, I'll just put a little piece of fabric at the top. Like that. Will I get making a cover to put? Oh, no, I think I was just going to keep the, you like both sides? Okay, good. I was just going to make these as individual journals. Not necessarily to use together. So I just made the covers out of the undesirable papers. Yeah, I think they're kind of the same, but they're kind of different. But yeah, because they're the same thing. So I don't know that I want to put them all inside one cover. I'm going to go to the sewing machine here and stitch this. I can reach the pedal. Put that back over there. Oh, great. I guess it was binding up on me and I didn't notice. All right, let's see if I can fix this. I have another tag so I can sew another one, but I got to get this out of my sewing machine. Yeah, something happened there. Let me get a scrap to sew upon. All right, I got a little napkin here. Okay, that looks right. Okay, let's get another piece of fabric. I have another tag over here because I ripped that one when I pulled on it. So I got another one. All right, let's do this. Are you going to do it again? Okay, it did. What in the world? It's like all of a sudden, I bet you I need to re-thread it. And I better do it now because if I don't, I'll forget. Let's see if it does it again. Yeah, that worked. All right, so I'll figure out something to do with this. Probably what I'll do is use my tag punch and place one over the top of that. If you would like for me to show you how I do that, let me know by saying, show the tag punch. Tab, T-A-B punch. All right, so I'm going to glue the butterfly in the center at the top here. And then that'll go right there. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt when that happens. I have to tinker with it sometimes. It happens. Just go on. Don't worry about it. It adds character. All right. See, this got a big wad of thread, so I'm just going to cut it all off. Okay. Sing us a song, I'm the piano man. Sing us the song tonight. I don't know any more of that. I'm not really good at knowing the whole song lyrics. Show the tag punch. Tab punch. Tab punch. This is a punch I've had for a long time. So I'm going to grab a piece of paper. I see some that is kind of a burgundy. Let's see if that's big enough. I'm just going to feed it through. And then I'm going to use my acrylic block and put it over the punch. I like to look at it from the back side. And then I'm going to stand up and punch. It's spring-loaded. Put that back in my scrappies. Put this back in the drawer it goes in. All right, so I've got a little punch tab, If you don't have the tag punch, Norella has some of these as page tabs, and you could trace one, make one, use that as your default. I'm going to put it on here. Oh, it doesn't come all the way down. So what do I want to do? I'm going to get another piece of paper. I've got a book page here. I'm thinking of just cutting a strip. Or do I want to cut it? Yeah. All right. So I want to cut it to be about almost an inch. Let's do an inch. I'm going to cut off the non-printing there. There we go. Okay. And then this was about 2 inches wide. So I'm just going to go over about 2 inches. Cutting off some of that blank area. Xanadu. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I would be so blessed to have that. All right, let's see if I did this right. I don't think I did. I think I should have made it longer, but because I was hoping that it would stick out. But I guess that would work, just to show a couple of layers right there. What do you think? I'm going to go ahead and put some distress inks on this little piece before I glue it down. Okay. Oh, we got to do the tab too. Xanadu. I'm trying to think of song lyrics at the moment. I can't. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here. And then we're going to put that in the center and fold it over. There. Earworm. Yeah, because you go like, what is that stupid song that some kids were playing? Oh, Baby Shark. I won't sing it. My friend and I used to do the theme to the Muppets. That'll be an earworm for you. I like it. So here's another thing we could do, because I saved that piece of fabric, but now I don't see it. Ah, nope, that's not it. Where'd it go? That's not it there. That's not the piece oh, here it is. I was wondering, I don't know if I would like that. I could sew this to where, or staple. Let's staple it. I have a stapler here. I'm going to staple it. There. That just stapled that on. And so now we have another little tag. You can use wherever. Xanadu, your neon lights will shine bright like a diamond. Hey, Connie, welcome. All right, so I showed how I fixed a tag that I ripped by adding some more paper to it. It's ready to be used somewhere else because I already have these. Let's look. I didn't put any bling on this page, and I didn't put any on that one, but I think we don't have to have bling on every single page. I know that Jennifer wants me to put it on every single page. I'm going to add some here, though, because the butterflies sometimes need some bling. Oh, come here. Okay. And there's a little butterfly over here. There. And I didn't really show this. I had a book page left over, and I put it onto my page, and I made a little flip up using washi tape. And then this is another paper, so this flips out. Now, I didn't put a fairy in the center, so maybe that's what we should do, is look at the fairy. Should we just put one, or I have enough that I could put one on either side like that? Can you even see all of the paper? Bling in gold, yes. Candle. Oh, that was a hard one. She's a candle in the wind. I don't know that I could. What I would have to do is, if y'all have song requests, you can comment after this video down below. And what I'll do is I'll look them up and learn the lyrics real quick, or at least write a few lines out so that when I can sing it, because I can see it. I have my earbuds in, and I'm listening to Y2 Country on Sirius XM. I've had a Sirius XM subscription for, golly, 2001? 2000. Actually, before that, because I think I had it when I had my minivan, because my in-laws had it, and so we all got a subscription. And since technology has changed, now we can play it anywhere. I like that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do this one too. This one just got different color papers and different patterns here. All right, let's grab some of the smaller ones. I know they're here. Where are they? There they are. They got covered up. Here's one. And here is another. Oh, you can't even see it. There you go. You have to donate imaginary money to give a song request. Oh, my goodness. So right now on my is Shania Twain, I'll Get You Good. I'm gonna get you, baby. I'm gonna knock on wood. I'm gonna get you somehow, honey. All right, I like it. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. So we did that page. Let's flip this over. I like the way those pages look, especially with that purple mottled, and I use purple dyed papers as well. And this looks good with the pocket here. That's two-sided. Love it. I'm flipping them over. Okay. Flip this one over. This page doesn't have a fairy visible. Does it need to have a fairy visible? I pulled her out of the pocket. I think that works. All right, and then flip that over. All right, so we did bling on the first half of the journal, so we should need to do some bling on the last half. I think I'm going to have to cut a strip off here. Let's put this one right here. From this moment. Okay, go this way. These are kind of a gray, so I don't want to use them in the journal because we've been using the clear. I'm just going ahead and cut in between each one. I'm getting a lot of mileage out of this sheet of bling. Go across. I just realized I didn't shut the back door. I wonder if my husband's home yet. I'm going to go shut the back door. I'll be right back. When I let the Oreo out, Hercules went out too, and I left the door open. They don't go through the doggy door anymore, so I have to leave the door open. Okay. But I closed it. Okay. Let's put one over here. Okay. Flip it over. I don't know that we need another little pocket here. I've done so many. I think that's enough. So let's flip this over. Oh, it must have fallen out. Is it here on the desk? I have a tiny postcard that I stuck in there, but now I don't see it. So hopefully I still have some left. I do. I have a rubber stamp, for those of you that are new, that makes this tiny little postcard. And I just think it's really cute to tuck it in. All right, let's flip this over. Oh wait, that's the back page. Okay, cool. All right, let's put these in the pocket. And flip that over, and then do this one. Okay. Now, do I need to put any bling? I need to put bling on this page, I think. Let's put one up here. And then let's look over here and see what we can do. Oh yeah, we got to put one on the butterfly. I really like this kit that Norella made. It's so pretty. All right. You want that journal? I want to tie it up. So that would be tied up. I didn't do a very good job with the bow. Make that prettier. Look at that. So they're chunky monkeys. Let's put a ruler here. Let's see. It's about 1.5 inches when I press it tight, if that makes sense. about an inch. I like it. I didn't put any charms in the middle. They take me so long to do because my eyesight is not as good as it used to be. So I don't always do them live. That's why. Because I have to fight to see. And I don't want to bore y'all to death. Alright, so I'm going to dig in my bins here. So let's get these beads out. And I think there's enough variety of charms in that. I need to do some rearranging here. There. Alright, so I'm going to grab some beads and just stick them on here. You love the ruffled edges? I do too. It's fun. I like using those pieces of fabric, just making a 1-inch strip, and it goes so far of using your fabric that you're only using an inch of it. So if you're hoarding a special fabric, cut or tear. I can't get the see. I'm having problems seeing. Cut or tear 1-inch strips out of it, and see how it looks. Adding it to your journals. Bye, Lorraine. Thanks for coming. Time to get husband ready for bed. Hope he has a good night's sleep and you do as well. Thanks for stopping in. This one won't go on there. I bought some beads that won't go on wax linen thread. They're just too thick. And I'm just going to try to grab, I don't think a hanger fits this one. How about a music treble clef? Treble clef. Come on, go through the hole. I may need to get my other glasses and double vision, man. Bye, Marty. Thanks for stopping in. And I'm just going to tie knots to hang this charm on here. If you are a jewelry maker, you may have like a crimp bead that you want to use instead. But I just tie knots. Do it a few times. Yep, come on. And I'm going to cut off the excess. That'll be good there. Let's do the next one. All right, Lorraine. See you next week, hopefully. Thanks, Marty. Bye. See you next week. All right, so next week I'm going to share how I did a technique where I used some foil to make some neat things. I don't want that one. Because I showed a journal that I made to Robin and Jennifer's like, wait, how did you do that? I'm like, well, I told her, and she goes, okay, well, you have to show that. I said, okay, I will. Can't get the hole where I can see it. There it goes. Just a few random beads. I got a little heart I'm going to use this time. Make it a little longer. Okay. You're welcome. One more knot. There, that looks good. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I haven't signed it. I'll have to do that. I usually put it on the back. Yeah, okay, I've got to think about what I want to if I want to put a strip of paper and then put my rubber stamp on there. Let's see what I got here. I got this little strip, so maybe we can use that. Okay, let's do these. And let's grab some beads. What I need to do is every time I grab one of these beads I don't like, I need to put it in a different container, since I know they don't work on wax linen thread. Come on, go through there. You're not going to, are you? All right. Have to twist the fibers back together so they'll go through the hole in the bead. Come on. Ooh, today is Global Pay It Forward Day. I didn't know that. The radio station that I'm listening to just said it. So, yeah. Sharing something with someone else. Words of encouragement. No, not that one. See, I keep picking up the beads I don't want. So I'm making a pile on my desk. Okay. Put that back in there. Let's see what the next one. Snippet. I have a sewing machine. Since we talked about sewing machines today, I'm going to put the sewing machine charm on there. It's kind of bulky, but I like it. It's cute. I like the little sewing machine that I have. I've had it since 2014, I think. So I've had at least 10 years. Wow. That's hard to imagine. That I've had it for 10 years. All right. Tighten that up. Snip it. One more. Jennifer's getting that boss fight going, and the FFA too. Free for all. Well, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I hope that you're inspired to create, that I've shared some ideas that you're like, oh, I haven't thought of doing that, or I've forgotten how to do that. Whatever the case may be. Be spending money. Aw, thank you so much, Jennifer. I'm so glad that you enjoy being here. I know that we all have busy lives, so thank you for popping in, even if it's just for a little while, or if you're watching this as a replay, you didn't get to be here during the live stream. I appreciate you, and I hope that you enjoy my content. Do check out my channel. I have other videos that I've put out over the years, all kinds of tutorials. I've got another sewing machine. Should I do 2 sewing machines? I got a heart. I'm digging to see. I have a heart. All right, I've got a treble clef, so I'm going to use that one. Yay, Bonnie and Jennifer. Y'all got some bucks. All right, I think I'm going to stamp on that scrap of paper my This Journal Made By stamp and sign it. And then I can paste it into the back of the journal. There. All right. So there's that dangle. And I'm going to take this. I've got my little rubber stamp here. So what is that? 2 1/4. I may not have enough to do it twice. Let's see what happens. Oh, I did. Did I make that right? I think so. All right. So this was a piece that was cut off of the bottom of one of Norella's digitals. And I just stick it to the side and use it later. All right, so I got this journal journal made by. That's what it says. Got to get it straight on my... So I'm going to stamp it close to the top. Oh, I barely made that wide enough. But I did. All right, so let's get Distress Inks. And I have a pen. And we'll sign it and glue it into the journal. All right, well, next week, I don't know. Y'all want me to flip through the journal one time so you can see how it turned out? All right, and this was April 28, 2025. Okay. Let's glue it down. I guess I could have numbered them 1 of 2 and 1 of 2 of 2. I'll put it right in the middle here. And then I can put this back in the pocket and tie it shut for a moment. Yes, please. Okay. I'll glue this one down and then we'll flip through one of them at least. There we go. So in concept, they're pretty similar. I just changed some of the papers occasionally, the images, and of course the fabric. So in this one, again, this was a mixed media paper that I made out of undesirable paper. I've got a tutorial for that. You want to see how I did that down below. On the cover, I layered some scrapbook paper, a piece of denim, a piece of glittered tulle, then one of the images from Calico Collage. There's a piece of fabric here behind the stamped word believe, and then we've stamped the word journal on, of all things, a paper grocery sack. And then there's some more of that denim. I did some stitching, and then I also added some bling. And the fabric is ruffled across the front. I've got a tie here. And then on the inside, let's flip this one over here out of the way. This little page has pockets. That was a book page that I used as the base behind there. And then when you look here, there's a tag at the top of that page. Get it back in there. And then this flips over. And behind there, we have a page out of a calendar. This is an old vintage calendar. And I layered on there, did some collaging. And I added a piece of copy paper that was pink. And then I stenciled it in pink and stamped on it. So that will go in the belly band here. More of Norella's images. Over here is a pocket that I made a while back. And it flips up. And there's a pocket inside. If I had glued this, yeah, I did glue it right. Solid, all I would have would be this pocket, but I didn't. I glued it down the sides. And this is how you keep the tab down. And across the bottom. And then this was some Tattered Angels frayed paper. And I just cut it up into strips. And added a piece of coffee dyed paper behind it. And this was a scrapbook piece of paper and some cheesecloth. I couldn't get my words out. And then this goes back over. Added some tulip dimensional glitter paint to the page as well as some bling. More fabric and lace ruffled. And then on this one is another tag from Calico Collage. This is wallpaper back here that I glued onto a base page. And then this is a little pocket here, and I stamped that. And then here's a little journal card that's paper clipped on. More coffee dye paper and stamped, adding the ruffles to the edge. Norella's images again. Here I just used Scrapbook scraps and covered the back side, and then this was Scrapbook cardstock that I just cut into a tag shape. Stamping on there. This page I had a lot of fun when I showed this last week, so if you're curious how I did it, it was using the envelope punch to get these neat pieces. I would recommend that I glued mine as one solid piece down the spine. I would cut them here and then glue them down because it's too much thickness in the spine, and if you can move it over just a little bit, then your book won't seem so thick in the spine. Another one of Norella's, and then it was just using a scrap and the tag punch. And I don't know if I've showed this, but I have a little card here. This is a gift card, and I use it to cut the corners consistently the same on a journal. So if you have an old gift card, cut off the corners and you can use that as a template. So if you're trying to mass produce a bunch of tags, that's what I did with this big one. And then use the punch. Stamping again. More Norella's images. And then I showed this piece already where we flip it out. You flip it this way. And then we have images there, and of course the dangles. And then flip that over. I love this bird. It's so pretty. Yeah, Norella's been busy. I need to send her a message again. I sent her one the other day, and she replied, but that's all she said was just, what my question was. I like this layered tag using all the different scraps. And that makes it look like a file folder there. And then flip this over and you see the fabric or the paper. And then these were cards that were part of a scrapbook pad. And I used that paper and it's from the same pad. This is another Tattered Angels dyed, or this could be cherry dyed when I had cherries or blackberries. I should have a pretty good cherry and blackberry crop this year. So I've got a couple people that's already said, I want some. Coffee dyed paper. And then this is also from a paper sack. It's a little wrinkled, but I think that's okay. When a paper sack is folded, this is one of the gussets that would open out. And I just use it as a journal card. Another card from Calico Collage. And this is a photocopy or print of one of my gel prints. I scanned it in and made it a digital. And I just love those colors. Wait, did I skip one? No. Yeah. Go there. And then one of Norella's, and that's where I signed it. And then we have the little postcard there. And then there's the back. Okay, I'm going to have to send her a message because I hadn't looked in her group. She had some scheduled posts that came out. And I know her kids have been really keeping her busy with their school activities. So that may be why I haven't seen her. So I'll have to send her a message. Well, let's pick a winner of the junk bucks. If you haven't already joined, type exclamation point raffle. We missed Robin today. I hope she can join us next week. And thank you to everybody else who could join. And thank you, Jennifer, for being an admin today in case there was some shenanigans going on. Let's see what else. So next week, we're going to do mixed media. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do mixed media. I'm going to show that foil technique. Do you want me to do some more of the undesirable papers where I take those not so pretty papers and alter them? Pardon me. Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, Julie. If that's something you want me to do, let me a comment below. Yeah, make the altered papers next week. I'll be glad to do that as part of my mixed media next week. All right, the winner. All right, the winner of the junk bucks is Bonnie. All right, so let's go here and we'll search Bonnie. Bonnie. I think it's that one. And we're going to add 200. So now you'll have 700. There you go. All righty. Just the usual shenanigans, as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Yay, Bonnie. I've added those to your account. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for your kind words of encouragement. I greatly appreciate the time that you share with me while I create. And I hope that you're inspired. I hope you do some creation of your own this week. Get in your little crafty space and make something. And be kind to somebody else. You know, we never know what someone else is going through. You could send them a word of encouragement, or hold the door for somebody, or smile and say hello to somebody that you don't normally talk to. Any of those, any of those things. So thank you so very much for hanging out with me. I greatly appreciate it. Oh, that's a different account. Bonnie, you have 3 accounts. I'll have to fix that. Y'all have an amazing week. I'll see you next week. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you again. Thank you so very much for your support. Y'all have an amazing week. Lots of love to everybody. Bye. Okay, she had 29.